Welcome back to another Fallout 76 video on the channel, and thanks for taking the time to check out this video. Today we're going to be discussing a very important change that has recently occurred over on the PTS when it comes to the new legendary crafting feature that will be coming to the game at some stage in the future. This change has sparked some polarizing opinions, and in today's video we're going to be going over everything that you need to know. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Roughly a week or two ago, I published a video here on the channel discussing some of the big changes coming to Fallout 76 later this year, and in that video I discussed how the legendary crafting system is getting a major upgrade. If you didn't catch that video, we discussed that over on the PTS, you can now playtest this new upgrade which gives you the ability to replace legendary mods on your already existing legendary weapons and armor, and replace them with specific legendary effects that you actually want. I won't go into too much detail about that right now, so if you want to get a full overview of that, make sure to click on the link on the top right hand corner of the screen. However, one of the core components, legendary particles, that was required to apply these legendary mods has now been scrapped completely and replaced with a system that we're somewhat familiar with. According to the most recent PTS patch notes, it states, legendary crafting, removed legendary particles, scrapping legendary items now grants script instead of legendary particles. The amount of script gained this way is significantly less than the script vending machine gives. Attaching legendary mods now requires script instead of modules. Crafting legendary mods now require legendary modules, but in a little bullet point, some mods have an additional required item. Fixed an issue preventing Vault 94 armor from being legendary crafted, fixed cases when legendary items couldn't be scrapped, and also as well legendary core rewards from events and quests replaced with legendary modules. And as you can see there in a little dev note, a common thread we saw in the feedback on legendary crafting was concern and a bit of confusion about an additional currency being used by the system. We also saw that players ended up with more legendary particles than they actually wanted to use. So to simplify and make the system feel more familiar, we felt that continuing to utilize modules and script would make it easier to understand and use. Now, on paper, that seems simple enough. Legendary particles are now being replaced by legendary script. So once you scrap a legendary item, you'll bank yourself some legendary script, but it's significantly less than the script vending machines, which I already disagree with completely, unless the legendary script limit increases as a result of this. But why do I disagree with this? Well, legendary modules are very costly, and the RNG in this game upon using legendary modules can be very unforgiving, which turns this into a much bigger grind than what it already is. Next, when attaching legendary mods, this now requires script instead of modules. So whenever you've crafted that particular legendary effect that you want, let's say you wanted to attach the bloodied legendary effect to a weapon, well that now requires script. Now, before we discuss that last part when it comes to the legendary crafting mod, let's take a look at the numbers and requirements for this. Over on the Data Miners Discord, and a big thanks to Mapex for providing these figures, but it looks like the requirements for scrapping and attaching mods are getting a bit of an overhaul, so let's take a look. According to the first part of this entry, core is replaced with modules. Every source of legendary core drops an equivalent number of modules instead. Earl, EN, Free Range, and Encrypted give 8 modules instead of cores. The Scorchbeast Queen and Ultrasight Titan give 5, and Daily Ops gives 1 to 3, and so on. Scrapping legendary items. So when you scrap a legendary item, it returns either a 1, 2, or 4 script for a 1, 2, or 3 star item. Also a setup for 6 script for a future 4 star item, so that's when it comes to 4 star legendary items that we did cover in previous videos before. And then also as well, when scrapping legendary items, it no longer yields particles, which we've already mentioned. When it comes to scripting legendary items, added future 4 star item yields. Armor now costs 30, weapons is 50, and power armor is 55. Moving on from that, as you can see, random rolling your first legendary mod into your item. 5, 10, 15 modules for a 1, 2, or 3 star mod, down from 10, 20, and 30. Now, I can completely see that this is obviously a great change, and obviously the less modules that we do need to use is obviously a great thing. But then we move on to slotting mod boxes. No longer costs modules, consumes the appropriate mod box as before, and then costs 10 scrip instead of modules to actually start, increasing non-linearity to 1000 scrip after the 21st reslot. This is a 90% reduction in cost, assuming 100 scrip per module. Now, here's the kicker. Before you even attach that legendary mod, you need to craft it. And when it comes to crafting the mod, well, Mapex has also provided an overview on how that will work. As you can see here, crafting mod boxes no longer cost particles, which we have already discussed and covered, 15, 45 and 90 modules to craft a 1, 2 and 3 star mod. And also as well, it also costs an additional item depending on that particular mod. And you may ask, well, what are those additional items? Well, Mapex has also provided that. I'm going to pop up both the additional armor mods and weapon mod items on screen right here, and as you can see, there's a lot of items. Now, some of these additional items such as chems, mutation serums and aid items can be fairly easy to come by. I mean, canned coffee can be easy to come by, floater flamer pus sacks are very easy to come by, but as you can see, some of these legendary effects are going to require you to find specific bobbleheads to craft. That's right, bobbleheads. Now, I know everything in the PTS is always subject to change before the final version is released to the live servers, but this right here needs to be replaced with something else entirely. Having bobbleheads as a component to craft an item is ridiculous, and I know I might seem like I'm overreacting, but bobbleheads are items that randomly spawn in the world at specific locations, and for a guide on where to find bobbleheads, you can check out my helpful bobblehead farming guide by clicking on the link on the top right hand corner of the screen. But regardless of shameful plugs or helpful guides on where to find items, bobbleheads are not spawn specific. So what I mean is, if you go to a location where a bobblehead will spawn, and considering there's many different variants of bobbleheads that you can acquire, the bobblehead at that location can spawn as any version. So you can go to one location and might have a chance to find a luck bobblehead, but when you go back to that location again, and that's if another bobblehead is spawned there, it might be completely different. In my own opinion, leaving this up to pure chance and RNG is a step in the wrong direction, and I feel this needs to be looked at before any attempt is made to release this to the live servers. If you take into consideration that grinding for legendary modules and scrip is already an enormous chore, and yes, I know some of these adjustments are somewhat a step in the right direction, but this right here is just a big massive no-no for me. You just have to look at it from the perspective, you've grinded for hours upon hours to either build up enough legendary modules, you've scrapped and traded in legendary weapons for scrip, but now you'll be faced with having to run around the map looking and hoping to find bobbleheads, and that's if you can even get the bobblehead that you need. I don't know, I just feel that this is making an extremely grindy system become even more grindy, and it's just going to turn off a lot of players from even trying to get the roles or mods that they need. I honestly feel that there's a much more streamlined and easier way for this system to work, but for now, and if this system stays how it is and released like this, there's definitely going to be issues. But again, everything on the PTS is subject to change, and hopefully feedback like this is taken into consideration, because I know on the flip side of that, there are other means of acquiring bobbleheads. You can ask a friend if they have one that you're looking for, you can purchase them out of player vendors, but I feel if this system goes live, bobbleheads are going to significantly increase in value and also in rarity. But let me know your thoughts in the comments, as I would love to get your opinion on what you think about this change to the legendary crafting system, as your thoughts and opinions are what help shape the future of this game. And if you have access to the PTS over on Steam, make sure to check this out for yourself and leave your feedback for the developers over on the Bethesda Discord. If you also enjoyed today's video, consider dropping a like and consider clicking that subscribe button and that bell notification button so you never miss out on any videos that I publish. I'd also like to say a massive thank you to all of our channel members and subscribers here over on the channel. Your support has been absolutely incredible, and I can't thank you enough for helping us get to where we are today. And as a thank you, you can use my creator code BTCremator76 until July 24th to receive 20% off of your entire purchase over on the Bethesda Gear store. And to you, the viewer, the person who stumbled upon this video, thank you for being here. I hope you enjoyed. Until next time, Vault Dwellers, stay safe out there in the wasteland. Welcome to Vault 93, and I'll catch you all in the next video.